And the one constant is this. It's to expect the unexpected at every turn. At every turn. The reason why this story has drawn the international audience that it has, in my opinion, of course, is Gabby, but also because at every turn, just strange oddities occur. Expect the unexpected, and here's what I mean by that as far as this entire process, okay? Brian Laundrie returns home September 1st without his fiancée after a cross-country road trip across the country, and he returns home to Florida in her van. That was unexpected. Joe Petito, Nicole Schmidt, try to reach out to Brian, try to reach out to Brian's parents, try to find out where's Gabby, and they don't return their phone calls, don't return their text messages. They cannot get a hold of Chris, Roberta, and Brian Laundrie. Unexpected. Police say they know where Brian Laundrie is in that press conference. Northport police say we know where he is. And then
the next day, reported
vanishes.
Yep.
He vanishes, or he had vanished at that point. Yep, reported missing. That too, unexpected. The public and the media on the front lawn that night, when it was just a complete zoo there on the front lawn between media and people in the Northport community, that too was unexpected. Chris and Roberta Laundrie not asking publicly for help to find their son, not having that emotional press conference, asking the public, please help us find Brian. Yeah. That was unexpected. Cassie Laundrie coming out of her home to confront demonstrators and then doing interviews, and she's the only one within the family that has been vocal. Yep. That too, unexpected. The report that came out that they went camping and had s'mores days after Brian Laundrie returned home from the cross-country trip. How weird and unexpected was that? Yeah. Chris Laundrie joining in the search recently and going to Carlton Reserve and being there for about 2 to 3 hours. That was also unexpected. And now, so I'm thinking about this last night. Again, I'm chopping carrots, if you can picture that in my kitchen, and yet another just unexpected turn of events here. Expect the unexpected with this story, which is why we have no idea really what we're gonna learn here in this press conference from Dr. Brent Blue here live via Zoom here in moments.
I think what you mentioned, JB, to our earlier audience, now getting more viewers here on Facebook, you've had some communication with the family, and this will not be a surprise for her parents. I think that is an important thing to mention, JB, that the family has been notified before Dr. Brent Blue goes public. Whatever findings he will release to us today. So I did want to mention that to our new viewers here as we count down just about 2 minutes away from this highly anticipated Zoom news conference with the coroner from Teton County, Wyoming. But yeah, JB, it's been really... We spent a lot of time the last few weeks kind of piecing together this timeline, not just leading up to the 27th when Gabby was last seen, but also that 11-day window, JB, between the 1st and the 11th. Like you mentioned, that camping trip that has drawn a lot of scrutiny. Who knew what when? As I've told you before, I went knocking on Cassie Laundrie's door a few weeks ago, and she did not come out to talk to me, but she came out because she was just sick of the protesters, and she's talked about a kind of a fracture in her family, that she's not even talking to her parents there. And the family attorney, Mr. Bertolino, has said that he doesn't represent her, and she's come out, like you said way more than the parents have said publicly. So a lot of unexpected twists and turns here, but this will really be, from a medical perspective, hopefully some answers today. Difficult news to process. It might be hard for some of you at home to hear, exactly what they tell us, what he might tell us happened to her. But again, all eyes on this news conference today as the coroner will come out and provide more information about the autopsy of this 22-year-old woman who by now the world knows her name after sadly she vanished and her body was located in that forest in Wyoming.
So I want to repeat this because we've now, I think, tripled our audience here, and I want to make sure that everybody is aware of this. So of course, by now people know that I've been in contact with Gabby Petito's family. This is not going to be new news to them. They're not going to be watching this and learning like the rest of the world. This is, of course, and that's not unexpected. That's not unexpected. Law enforcement, of course, doing, okay, let's hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyJustin. We'll come back here after this press conference. We'll come back here live. They're about to unmute. We'll watch for your hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyJustin comments here, and we'll have your reaction and discuss how this impacts Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie going forward here live on WFLA Now after the Teton County press conference here gets concluded. As of right now here, folks, we understand this is Dr. Brent Blue. If you look right there in the bottom left-hand portion of your screen, you will see that mute icon. People who are very Zoom savvy know that he has not unmuted himself here yet. So perhaps waiting just another moment here, but when he and I think he's now going to be muted or unmuting himself here in a moment. And you'll see some of the chat come in here as well. This is, again, just a raw Zoom call, but really, again, we're all listening here for the autopsy.
Thank you all for joining us. I am Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner Office is filing the following verdict in the death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito. We hereby find the cause and manner of death to be the cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, no other information will be released about the autopsy. The only thing that is released in the state of Wyoming is cause and manner of death.
I think they said they can't hear you. Just 1 second.
Should I start over then? Sure. Thank you for joining us. Sorry about the audio issue. I'm Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner's Office is filing the following verdict. In the manner of death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito, we find the cause and manner to be cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, only the cause and manner of death are released. Their autopsy findings and photographs and that sort of material is not released by state statute. And I'll be glad to entertain some questions at this time.
Hi, Brian. This is Alex with the News and Guide. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm curious whether you're able to pinpoint a date of death and when, and if you know whether or when Gabby's remains will be returned to her family.
The remains have been returned to the mortuary here, and the mortuary is dealing with the family at this time as far as the disposition of the remains. As far as the time of death, we are estimating 3 to 4 weeks from the time that the body was found. That is actually determined more by the law enforcement folks than than our office.
Chris, Vivian, you are able to ask your question.
What's the question? I didn't hear a question.
Chris, I believe that you are muted. If you can unmute yourself.
Okay, it's John Walsh from In Pursuit with John Walsh on Discovery ID. Dr. Blue, thank you for your time. I think everybody in the world believes that Brian Laundrie killed Gabby. With your extensive work on the body, are you sure that it's Brian Laundrie? And will the FBI issue a nationwide homicide warrant now that they know the cause of death?
We are only tasked with the determination of cause and manner of death. Who committed the homicide is up to law enforcement, and I cannot answer the question about the FBI. You would have to contact them.
Jeremy Kopis, you are now allowed to ask your question.
Yes, hello, doctor. If you could please, can you comment on any other bruising, maybe on the body that possibly was healing, possibly older bruises or cuts that might have been healing over the last couple of weeks before her passing?
By Wyoming state statute, no other information about the autopsy is released, just the cause of death.
Hi there, this is Heather Lee, a reporter at ABC Action News in Tampa, Florida. I just wanted to know if you could explain why it took about a month for this process to finish. I think a lot of people were hoping that they would learn this information sooner. So I just think if you could just explain the process and why it took a month.
Well, the main reason was that we were very exacting in our examination and the detail by which that examination was done. We were waiting for various specialists to come in and help us with this investigation. We were waiting on toxicology to be